You good, Sheila?
Oh, yeah.
Permelia? Come on down. Good? Yeah, stand.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Permelia Tony Boss. I'm from Roselle, New Jersey. I work as a unit coordinator at Rutgers University, and I am a mother of 7 kids. I want to extend a warm welcome to Governor Murphy,
Thank you.
Lieutenant Governor Oliver, Senate President Steve Sweeney, Assembly Speaker Coughlin, Assemblywoman Quijano, and Senator Pat Dignan. I am honored to be with you today to celebrate the signing of the expansion paid family leave. It is an exciting day today. I have been sharing my story for over 8 years because I strongly believe that paid family leave is a necessary support so that no one is forced to choose between their paycheck and their family's health and well-being. For me, paid family leave made all the difference during a difficult period of my life. In a 2-year period, I had 2 major surgeries for lung cancer. After my first surgery, I really needed someone to care for me, but couldn't afford to hire a home care nurse. My daughter, Tahira, volunteered to help me. At the time, we had no idea that family leave insurance existed, and so my daughter could only afford to take off a day here and a day there. And so she was there only part of the time, and that was really hard. After I recovered and went back to work, I attended a workshop through my union and learned about New Jersey's family leave insurance program. Then, during a checkup, doctors found more tumors, and I had to undergo additional surgery. My daughter helped me recover again, but this time she did it for longer periods of time. With the financial help from the family leave insurance program, after surgery I felt safe with my daughter at a time when nothing else felt safe. During my recovery, I needed physical help, but I also needed emotional support. It is so important to have someone care for you who you are comfortable with and who really knows you and who cares deeply about you and your well-being. Having my daughter by my side gave me the strength to fight and get better. I want to thank Governor Murphy for making paid family leave a priority and for signing this bill into law. The improvements will make paid leave more accessible to more families so they can care for a loved one in need. Paid family leave made all the difference in the world to me and my family, and it should be available to all working families in New Jersey. By increasing outreach and education, raising wage replacement, and expanding the definition of family to include anyone who is like family, more New Jerseyans who need to care for a loved one will be able to do it. Thank you for hearing my story today, and I'd like to turn it over to Yarrow Wilman Cole.
Great job, Permelia. Great job.
Thank you, Permelia. My name is Yarl Wilman-Cole. I work at the Center for Women in Work at the Rutgers School of Management and Labor Relations and with the New Jersey Time to Care Coalition. I have 2 daughters, Luna, who is 3, going on 13, and baby Brisa, who is 8 months and right over there staring me down. As a working mom of 2 little kids, I am ecstatic to be here today to celebrate the expansion and improvements of our state's paid family leave program. I want to also give a big thanks to Governor Phil Murphy, Lieutenant Governor Oliver, Assembly Speaker Coughlin, and Assemblywoman Quijano, and also Senator Dignan. They have been leading on leave here in New Jersey and have put our state at the forefront of a movement. Thanks to their efforts, we are really showing how now is the time for paid family leave. The changes being signed into law today will make it possible for more New Jersey workers to take time off to care for themselves and their loved ones during moments of crisis or moments of connection without risk of falling into poverty. That is the simple beauty of an accessible and affordable paid leave program. We can have the freedom to focus on our loved ones when we need to the most and not worry about missing a rent or bill payment. Today, through the efforts of the members of the New Jersey Time to Care Coalition, small business owners with the Main Street Alliance, families who share their stories, and of course our policymakers, we are adopting sweeping changes that make paid family leave truly in reach for more working families in the state. And thanks to our paid family leave program, I was able to afford to take time off to recover from childbirth and bond with both of my daughters. My time with them in their first few months was calm and unhurried, with a dash of sleep deprivation. But becoming a parent for the first time is not easy. Babies do not come with instructions. You have to develop your own way of parenting, and ideally that cannot be done stressed out. And so New Jersey Family Leave Program allowed me to take time to learn who I was as a mom, who my daughters were, and how we were going to learn from each other. I was also able to breastfeed both of my daughters, something which is really difficult for many moms who have to return back to work far too soon after having babies. I am proud of the Garden State and of our governor for taking bold action and implementing policies that are reflective of the needs we have as whole people, both as caregivers and as workers, from earned sick leave to 15 minimum wage to now this paid family leave expansion. These laws will go a long way to allowing us to live full, happy, and healthy lives. Now it is my honor to introduce our governor, who has done so much to lift up working families, Governor Phil Murphy.
Thank you so much. Yarrow, thank you. Thank you. God bless your daughters. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yarrow, thank you for that. I'll be back to you in a moment. This is becoming a habit in Middlesex County. I have to. Well, we've done a lot of good lately, and we've been waving the flag here in Middlesex County. But invariably, I need to talk about the weather. You can't make this up. I'm telling you. Never did I think that weather would be so. In any event, we are, all kidding aside, we are closely tracking a storm. Right now, it appears that everywhere we'll get some snow with up to 6 inches in parts. The State Emergency Operations Center will be activated tonight to ensure that we are ready. NJ Department of Transportation crews are preparing trucks and equipment today. As of now, and again, as of now, this storm is forecast to really hit beginning in South Jersey in the morning and moving up, with the brunt of it really hitting in the middle of the workday tomorrow. So we encourage people to plan ahead and consider alternatives such as telecommuting if possible. DOT will be coordinating with law enforcement and other transportation partners, as they do with all storms, to ensure the roads are clear and safe for commuters. As we always do, we encourage you, if you want to go to one place, we encourage you to go to ready.nj.gov, ready.nj.gov, for the latest updates from the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management, and www.511nj.org for real-time travel and traffic information, 511nj.org, or at ReadyNJ and at nj._info on Twitter. Again, my favorite is ready.nj.gov. We'll also be releasing any special announcements from our office and through social media, so please bear with us. And again, thank you for permitting me to get that. We'll come back to you with more details as we get them. So back to the order of the day and the business of the day. Thank you both, Permelia and Yarrow, for telling us your stories, both incredibly compelling. For you and countless others across our state over the past decade, the impact of paid family leave to care for a new baby or another family member, or to have a family member care for you, has been quite literally life-changing for the better. I'm so proud that in just a few moments we're going to be able to do so much more for so many more families like yours. So thank you both again. It is an honor to be here with a distinguished group. The woman to my right, the singular, the rockin' Lieutenant Governor of the great state of New Jersey, Sheila Oliver's in the house. Mayor Waller, I want to thank you and everybody here in Piscataway, P-Way, for hosting us today. Yeah. Particularly the John F. Kennedy Library, named after one of our American heroes. As we say in more dinners than not with our families, libraries still matter, and they will continue to matter forever and always. So thank you so much for hosting us today. Permilia mentioned Senate President Steve Sweeney. He wanted to be here today, could not be, but it's important to note that he stood beside another governor almost 11 years ago as the first version of paid family leave was signed into law. And he sponsored that law, and his name is on this one, so I wanted to give him a shout out. He tried to do some more in the ensuing years, but it was vetoed time and again. So I'm proud there'll be no veto today. I'm proud to be able to sign this expansion of paid family leave today. It should be noted that one of the lead sponsors in the Assembly for that paid family leave bill back in 2008 was the Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver. So we're back at it again, Sheila. I recognize also the other leaders with us today, especially a guy who really muscled this over the goal line in his chamber and a guy who's done so much over the past year plus as Speaker, the one and only Middlesex County's own Craig Coughlin in the House. Also, Assembly sponsor Annette Quijano. Annette, thank you for extraordinary leadership. And fellow sponsor, we'll hear from both of them in a few minutes, Pat Duggan. Senator, great to have you with us. We're also joined today by members of the Rockin' 17th Legislative District. Senator Bob Smith is in the House. Assemblyman Joe Danielson is with us. God bless you. Up from Monmouth County, Assemblywoman Joanne Downey is with us. Joanne, honored to have you with us today. Freeholder Director Ron Rios is in the House. Ron, God bless you. Great to have you. Also, a couple of members of our cabinet, really important for this particular law. Labor Commissioner Rob Acero-Angelo is in with us. And Commissioner of Education, Dr. Lamont Repollet. So thank you all for being here. And I also have to finally thank the advocates who came together under the umbrella of the Time to Care Coalition and whose work was invaluable to getting this work done. I'm just going to, because I see Phyllis in front of me, New Jersey Citizen Action. Dina's getting a pen, I know. Where's Dina? Dina, you're holding the baby. Okay. So it's Associate Director Dina Matula-Jaborska is with us as well today. But to all the advocates, thank you. We wouldn't be here without you. Plain and simple, more New Jerseyans, especially young families welcoming a child, will have greater flexibility to benefit from paid family leave. So what are we doing? We're doubling the length of time that workers can take for paid family leave, allowing up to 12 weeks every year instead of 6. Yeah. Amen. Especially for that new mom and dad, we know that more time spent bonding with a child can lead to a better long-term outcome for that child. Just as importantly, we are increasing the maximum possible benefit from 53% of the statewide average wage to 70% of the average wage. In real terms this year, that's an increase from $651 a week to $860 a week. Hundreds of dollars more each week for families to make ends meet. This, too, is a common sense move. The benefit workers currently receive, as was mentioned, was set in 2008, and that won't cut it in 2019. More workers, what else? More workers will have their jobs protected while they're out on leave because this law institutes strong protections against retaliation or discrimination by their employer for taking paid family leave. And we are expanding the issues for which a worker can take paid leave to explicitly include domestic or sexual violence, both if the worker is a victim of such violence or if they have to care for a family member who is a victim. For middle class and lower income families, the temporary loss of a paycheck because of the need to care for a loved one can be a daunting and stress-inducing financial hurdle. But paid family leave can be vital in allowing them to focus their attention where it is most needed, on their family. Every worker needs to know that paid family leave is available to them. Over the past 10 years, more than 200,000 New Jersey families have breathed a little easier because of the availability of paid family leave. But we know more are out there. Expanding paid family leave is the third concrete action we have taken in just the past year to protect our working families and to grow and secure our middle class. First, we gave 1.2 million more workers the guarantee of a paid sick day. 2 weeks ago, and again, I want to give the Speaker a big shout out for his role in this, we put New Jersey on the path to a $15 minimum wage. And now, and now, today, expanding paid sick leave. With every step, we are proving that when we honor and protect workers, we strengthen our economy. When you allow workers to take care of themselves and their loved ones, we strengthen families. I should acknowledge, because I didn't earlier and should have, the First Lady of the great state of New Jersey is in the house. Tammy Murphy is with us. And with that, it is my distinct honor and privilege to ask to come up to say a few words, my partner in governing this great state, Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I too would like to thank Pramelia and Yarrow for being here today and sharing with New Jerseyans what this bill and the enactment of this bill has made for them. And I'm proud to say that Pramelia and I graduated from high school together, but we're not going to tell you what year that was. But I'm so proud that she is here today. And Governor, I want to tell you, I appreciate the brine on the roads. I am not secure, and it means a lot that it melts very fast when it comes down. So thank you for that, Governor Murphy. You know, going back to 2008, and we can even go back to 2004, the Democratic majorities in both the Senate and the Assembly fought for years for the enactment of laws that were going to really make a difference in the lives of people, real working people in our state, people who had jobs that did not provide them with sick pay, jobs that did not provide the opportunity to care for a family member if they became ill. We know that the governor approved a piece of legislation that is creating the New Jersey Caregivers Task Force, which will allow us to examine this issue of needing to care for family members. So, enactment today of the expansion of family leave could not be coming at a more appropriate time. As our community and New Jersey begins to age out, the baby boomers, no longer the largest segment of our population, but a significant, we are going to need children and aunts and uncles and extended family members to take care of people. The worst thing in the world is having a family member who is ill and you are not able to spend time with them. There are many husbands and wives and daughters and sons who have not been able to have that opportunity to spend time with an ill family member. And it means a lot to that family member. And to the husbands and the fathers, know that paid family leave is available to you as well, not just the mom. So, you know, I am very proud that it took a Governor Philip Murphy to occupy our State House to enact laws that really are meaningful to everyday working people. Everyone knows, although I get in trouble with my detail, I love to go to the CVS. I love to go to the supermarket and push my cart, stop in the aisle and talk to average working class New Jerseyans. Today, Governor Murphy, I will be proud to be in the aisle at CVS and let everyone know that you have expanded paid family leave in the state.
Thank you so much. Two quick things. Turns out I'm not occupying the State House. Just metaphorically I am, but I'm actually down the street if you're looking for me, 225 West State Street in Trenton. And secondly, thanks to your inspiration, we're now brining the aisles at CVS. The Senate President, the Speaker, and I and a few other colleagues had a dinner the night that this was passed in both chambers a couple of weeks ago. And I've never seen, Craig, I've known you a few years now, I've never seen you more proud of something. This was a great effort in both chambers. It's my great honor to introduce Middlesex County's own, the Speaker of the General Assembly, Craig Coughlin.
Thank you, Governor, and thanks so much. I thought that was my birthday party that we had.
It was your birthday.
Gave 1 million people a raise on your birthday. That's a pretty good gift. But and by the way, Sheila, I just want to know that I will be brief so that you can get to the grocery store because I hear there's a storm coming. And you know how milk and all of that stuff sells out, so we got to get you there fast. Governor, I appreciate the weekly weather report. I'll be back next week to find out what's going on. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, with the governor and with Sheila Oliver, two tremendous leaders, with our extraordinary First Lady and my colleagues and friends from the Assembly and the Senate and the sponsors and the advocates of this bill, because today we take another step forward for working people in the state of New Jersey. As the governor outlined, we have now moved to help people be there when they're sick, to get a chance to be home and to take care of themselves. We've raised the minimum wage, and today we make sure that we send a very clear message that family matters, that family is important, and that the best way for people to demonstrate that they care about their family is to be involved when they need them the most. And today we give them the real opportunity to do that. We have had the law since 2008, and in going through the process and speaking with advocates, speaking with other legislators, it became pretty clear to me that it was being underutilized, in part because it wasn't providing sufficient resources to encourage people to do that. And too often, New Jersey families had to make the decision between a paycheck and caring for someone that they needed to care for, or to be home with their child. I'm blessed to have three wonderful children, and the opportunity to be with them, to bond with them, to become such an important part of their life from the very outset is critical to building solid families, and that's good for all of us. We are all better when we have stronger families. We are all better when parents can care for their kids or their parents or their loved or their husband or wife. And today we take that step forward. Congratulations to the sponsors of this bill, including Steve Sweeney, who can't be here today, to all of you who have had your nose to the grindstone since before I got in the legislature. 2008 was before I arrived, but the time in between then and now, you have worked tirelessly to get this across the goal line, and thank you, Governor Murphy, for signing this and making that possible. There's still much to be done. We'll still continue to find ways to help New Jersey families, but today we do something very important for all of them, and it's my privilege to be here with all of the people who made that happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Speaker, and again for your leadership. A big day for the home team, as they say. Would love to get a couple of the folks to come up and say a few words who really made the difference here. And the first person I want to introduce just muscled this thing in the Assembly and led with great distinction. It is an honor to ask to come on up Assemblywoman Annette Keano. Congratulations.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Senate President Sweeney, Speaker Coughlin, Governor Murphy, and you know her as Lieutenant Governor, but when I was first in the Assembly, she was my majority leader. So I wanted to thank you for your leadership in expanding New Jersey's paid leave program and making New Jersey working families a top priority. As the Speaker said, family does matter. Expanding paid leave will make New Jersey a more attractive place to live, work, and raise a family because people will know that in the Garden State, making the choice to care for your loved ones when they need help will be a much easier financial decision. Many workers couldn't afford to take a family leave because of its low wage replacement rates, or chose not to out of fear for retaliation. In some cases, they weren't even aware of the option. The revisions in this bill will help working families who need to take time off to bond and care for a new child, or to care for a family member who is sick or is recovering from a violent ordeal, to do so without jeopardizing their financial security. Expanding paid leave is a type of progressive policy advancement that reminds me why I got into public service. I'm excited that such a meaningful impact on the lives of the constituents in my district, but as well as the entire state. Sorry. I'm trying to make sure that I don't get too emotional. This bill was really important to me because my family faced financial issues. You know, none of us really think that our relatives are going to get sick or that sick. I had both grandparents get sick at the same time, requiring hospitalization. Only one returned home. But the fact was, what member of the family was going to give up the security of their job to take care of a family member who, let's be honest, was limited in English, who had her preferences, and the hospital food, let's be honest, was not good, or she wasn't eating it. And so we had to come together as a family, and this can actually break up families. Who gives the time, who doesn't? Who has that flexibility? And this bill expands who is family, which actually answers the realities of the day. I wish this program existed. There are still hard feelings within my family regarding the decisions that were made, but we made sure that our family member was cared for, loved, and it cost what it cost. And if it meant that some members had to dip into their pensions, that's what they did. But this is going to help so many families in New Jersey, and I am so proud to have helped in moving this legislation through. I want to give shout outs to the advocates because you know what? Stories matter. Lots of people don't understand really until it impacts them, and they understand the realities of illness and insurance and time off. So I want to give a shout out, and I apologize beforehand if I don't mention everybody, but Dina, Phyllis, Ann, Jerome, and Yarrow, thank you for making sure your stories came to my office and to me, because they did make all the difference in the world, because I experienced it firsthand. And with this, I am so happy that leadership, the governor, thought this was important too for the New Jersey family. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Annette. Great job. Annette's stories, the stories we heard earlier, remind us that this stuff is not abstract. If you're not careful, you can get into a policy discussion. You can get into the politics of governing. The reality is this is real, and it's real for, in some cases, minimum wage, 1 million or more workers and 500,000 kids. In this case, several 100,000 people. Bless you. This is as far from abstract as it gets. It is now, it takes a village, so you can't, if you have a good idea, you got a right-minded governor or lieutenant governor, you need both chambers, you need to work together, and representing the Senate today does an extraordinary job. My honor to bring up one of the lead dogs on this as well, Senator Pat Dignan.
First of all, let me express my sense of relief. I was about to call my wife Anita and say the governor was coming for dinner, and then he remembered to introduce the First Lady. Good luck with that
I
one.
still have you over.
On behalf of the Senate President, I was thinking when Annette mentioned New Jersey being a garden state, maybe we should think about doing a subtitle that we're the working family state. Because what has been accomplished over the last 6 months is remarkable. Equal pay, sick pay, minimum wage, and now today's crowning glory. This is a state that cares. This is a state that listens, and that doesn't happen by mistake. It's because of the leaders that we have, and we are just so fortunate. Craig Coughlin, I've known for 30 years, a man of incredible integrity and focus. I cannot speak highly enough. Our governor, one of the greatest leaders in the state of New Jersey's history, and our Senate President, who wished he could be here, but last-minute union obligations came up. We are really and sometimes it just drives me crazy because we don't say it. We are a great state that cares about our citizens, and all I can say is thank you to our leaders for keeping that tradition. Thank you.
Amen to that. And to the contrary, there are a lot of myths out there. If you really take care of workers and you put your money where your mouth is, that'll scare employers off. The opposite is true, actually. Morale goes up, productivity goes up, more money goes into the system, and increasingly companies big and small realize that a happy workforce, a secure workforce, is a key ingredient to their success, and people are recognizing that around not just New Jersey, but around the country. We're going to sign the bill in a minute. We'll take a couple of quick questions if you've got them. And we'll go to the press, our friends in the press first. Anybody in the press? Please.
Governor, if I can go off topic for a moment.
This will be the first time, so please, we'll see how it goes.
We've heard that there may be some movement on a deal for legalization of marijuana. Where are you on that at this point?
I think, and the speaker can weigh in here as well, we had a very constructive meeting on Thursday. I think, I would say optimistic, but we're still trying to machine this to get it over the goal line. But I think we're all working really hard to get this done. Is that?
Yeah, I think that's
know what I
I
mean?
mean, I steadfastly resist the temptation to talk about ongoing legislative negotiations, but I think that the governor's right when he says we had a very, very productive meeting on Thursday, and I think we're all optimistic about being able to get the ball over the goal line.
We'll leave it at that. Charlie. Charlie, nice to see you. Charlie, I'm not running for president, by the way. Thanks for asking. Appreciate your asking that.
On that issue, what makes us, on marijuana, I mean, we've heard this before, this is going to be done first 100 days, Halloween, we were talking back to Halloween, this is going to get done. So what makes you think this time that this is, within reach?
I would make a general comment, Charlie, and Craig, you should weigh in as well. This is complicated. So we're standing up an entire industry from scratch, and I think only one other state has done this legislatively, right?
Only Vermont.
Only Vermont has done it legislatively. So this is, we've said all along that this is not a light lift. But again, I just would stick with what I said a minute ago. I'm optimistic, but we're still machining it to get over the goal line. Would you add anything?
Well, I would agree. I mean, look, this is a seismic shift in public policy and the creation of a new industry. Those are both demanding items, and so we want to make sure we get it right, and we want to make sure that we have a bill in place that people can support. And so there's an awful lot of work that goes into it. And I try to resist deadlines because the overarching consideration for me and for my caucus is to make sure that we're thorough and thoughtful about this, and that we get a bill that's in the best interest of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Takes work.
We've said this all along. Getting it right is a lot more important than getting it fast.
On this flat tax idea that's been floated, we've read this in other stories, do you think that will get you over the goal line as opposed to?
I'm going to echo what Craig said a minute ago. I think we're not going to get any details on this. Neither one of us have a policy of doing that, and we'll see where we land here.
Maybe an on-topic question.
For marijuana, or there's no sign of when a vote might happen, or
No.
you still have to?
We'll come back to you when we know more. We'll come back. Hold on, we're going to go to people who haven't asked yet, please.
On-topic question over there.
Okay. One more time? Again, we'll come back to you when we've got some specifics, please.
The Inspector General released a damning report about the conditions at the Essex County Correctional Facility. Is this an ethical revenue stream for the county considering the deplorable conditions?
Yeah, I read the same report you did. I've got no insight into it, but any amount of inhumane conditions for anybody incarcerated is completely unacceptable. I think it's incumbent upon all of us to get to a better place than that. Brian. Brian, Craig's been trying to get me for a non-topic question. Let's just give Brian a round of applause, first of all. I can see it. I apologize. Thank you.
Thank me.
Thank Craig gets the assist here.
You're about to take the train trips at the chamber, I believe.
I'm not taking the train. I'm speaking at the dinner. Yes.
How do you address the business community of New Jersey when they see extended family leave program, when they see a minimum wage going up that other states have not been doing, and their concerns of New Jersey being a competitive state for the business community?
Well, I would have a lot to say. First of all, small businesses, the real mom and pops on minimum wage, the really small shops, we've, I think, dealt with responsibly. A slower runway, a longer runway. Secondly, the entire minimum wage package, regardless of what runway you're on, is over a number of years. In fact, there's a carve-out for small businesses in this as well. It's a very small tax paid by employees in this state, and that tax sort of gets pinned to whether or not how endowed the program is, depending on how many people participate in it. So there were very particulars I can answer their concerns with. The fact of the matter is, the bigger picture is what I mentioned a minute ago: a stronger, more secure, middle-class, working families in this state. The better it is for them, and the better it is for the folks who employ them. There's a confidence, there's an increase in productivity. You know, this is paid family leave today, but we saw with earned sick leave a lot of myth busting. There was well, gosh, this will be bad for employee morale. The exact opposite is true. If you feel like you've got the confidence, if you're sick or you've got a sick kid and you don't have to go to work and you're not going to lose your job as a result, you have a higher worker passion and productivity. You didn't ask this, but I want to say one thing that's important. There is a slug of money associated with this bill, not a big slug, that is directed toward promoting this bill. So there have been, the advocates will know this, there have been two principal reasons why folks haven't participated in this. Number one, the juice was not affordable. They weren't getting enough back, either in time or amount of money per week. We're correcting both of those today. But the other reason is not enough people know about it. And so there is a slice of money that will be managed, I believe, in the Department of Labor, Rob, by your folks, that is directed at promoting and making sure folks in the state are aware of this program, which is a big thing. So with that, we're going to walk 8 feet to the right and make this the law of the land. Thank you all, everybody.
Stand next to my speaker.
Correction, that's my speaker.
Can everyone please remain seated in front of the signing table for the cameras?
This is the money shot, by the way. Okay, now we have to actually do some work here. Put my glasses on. First pen goes to a woman and a great story she told. Permelia Tony Boss is here. Second one to Bree's mom, Yarrow Wilma Cole. Yeah? All right. One day we'll get a pen with your name on that. The Lieutenant Governor, the one and only, Sheila Oliver's in the house. Incredibly powerful story and somebody who's lived this, a leader on this for a long time, Assemblywoman Annette Keeler. Senator, my dinner date for tonight, Cat Diver. Somehow, I'm going to skip in the order here. The Speaker of the General Assembly, Craig Coughlin. Assemblywoman Joanne Downey's in the house. Joanne, congratulations. Dina, you still with me back here? I mentioned Dina earlier. Dina Matola Jaborska from New Jersey Citizen Action. Dina, congratulations. And the last one is for a guy who's not here, but I want to give him a big shout out, who stands on behalf of not just organized labor, but working families in this state every single day, Tom Giblin. So I want to give it up in a section. This is now the law of the land.
Good job, everybody.